And last but not least, our only speaker who is not here with us today and whose video is going to be presented before you in a moment, Mr. Asoo Mohammed Sofi Qader, a retired judge from the Iraqi High Criminal Court, and he's renowned for his extensive work in human rights and international law. His career, marked by significant roles in the court, includes pivotal participation in landmark cases like the Halabja chemical attack, Al-Failin Kurds, Al-Barzanin, the Anfal, and the uprising of 1991, emphasizing his commitment to justice in the face of grave human rights violations. Internationally recognized, Judge Qader has collaborated with institutions such as the United Nations in Geneva and has been a prominent figure in global forums, including the European Parliament in Brussels and the International Association of Genocide Scholars. His contributions, particularly in genocide studies and the advocacy of Kurdish rights, have made him a respected authority in the field, leaving a lasting impact on the pursuit of international justice and human rights. So we'll go ahead and start with the recording from Judge Qader before moving on to our panel.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I apologize because I don't speak English very well, and for not attending to this conference because I couldn't get visa. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased and grateful to participate in this conference. I am Judge Asoo Sofi, as one of the former judges in the Iraqi High Criminal Court, and I would like to start my presentation with a short history. Since the 20s of the 19th century, the Kurds have been demanding freedom, justice, and equality for all the Iraqis, and have been demanding autonomy through the Kurdish movements. In 1968, when the regime of Ba'ath took over the authority under Saddam Hussein's leadership, the Iraqi authority had a consistent attitude and specific point of view towards the Kurdish nation people. Since the Kurds were an obstacle in front of implementing the plans and achieving the goals of the regime of Ba'ath, such as monopoly of power and continuity of having power, so they started committing the worst genocide against humanity, against the Iraqi people in general, and especially against the Kurds. Now, in brief, I would like to refer to the genocide and crimes against humanity that the Kurds resolved by the Iraqi High Criminal Court. The first crime, the failure Kurds. In 1980, the former regime of Iraq issued its decision number 666, which include stripping of the failure Kurds Iraqi citizenship for the excuse of not being loyal to the aims of the Ba'ath Party. And it is also included confiscation of the movable and non-movable assets, arresting thousands of male adults who were later tortured, killed, and their corpses were hiding on this day. Their fate unknown, and their families were dislodged and exiled to Iran. The second crime, the Barzani tribe. In 1982, the Republican Guard forces and the security services arrested more than 8,000 Barzani, aged between 13 to 80 years old, who were unarmed civilians and were killed and executed in sham monkey illusion trials. The third crime, bombarding the city Halabja with chemical weapons. The former Iraqi regime bombarded Halabja city with different chemical weapons on 16th of March 1988, which resulted in killing 5,000 innocent civilians of both genders and different ages, and injuring more than 10,000 people who are still suffering from their injuries to this day. The fourth crime, Anfal. Between the years 1987 to 1988, the Iraqi military forces with its different categories, the security and intelligence services, destroyed more than 4,000 villages and killed 180,000 unarmed innocent civilians of both genders and different ages, with the using of burying them alive in mass graves, bombarding by the chemical weapons and other means. After the fall of the former regime in 2003, down by the alliance forces, the Iraqi High Criminal Court was established according to the law number 10, 2005, amended. This was the first national court in the Middle East which implemented international criminal laws in the trial of the former Ba'ath regime and looked into the international crimes committed by them. The court was fair, impartial, and independent. In respect of the court's cases, the court has issued its decisions which have described the cases and crimes as genocide based on the legal requirements and the facts and evidence which proved the crimes mentioned above, which were committed by the former regime and violation of the Geneva Convention in 1948 to prevent a crime of genocide. The legal requirements to describe these crimes mentioned above as genocide include: the first, the draw a policy and prepared a criminal plan with premeditation to target Kurds as a national group, crimes committed by the convicts above as principals or as contributors to some of them, and these crimes include all kinds of murdering and the mass graves and executions and random without trials, and the use of the chemical weapons and enforced disappearances and forced displacement and torturing unarmed civilians, which result in the killing of more than 200,000 and wounded thousands regardless of this age and genders, suggesting the existence of the intent or purpose in your action and achieve the result of any intent to annihilating the Kurds is the deadliest, totally or partially. The second, Kurds are the second nationality after the Arab, as they have one language and culture and live in the same geographical area. And this was stated in the Iraqi constitution in 1970. The third, presence of military units, air forces, the secret services force, and the organization office in the north of Iraq, Office of North Organization. In Kurdistan region, the crime scene, which were supervised by Chemical Ali. All these forces would prevent the Kurd from escaping and attack them for the purpose of killing. Therefore, both of the convicts, Saddam Hussein and Chemical Ali, encouraged on committing all kinds of crimes by their orders, instructions, verbally and written letters, and the different Iraqi military forces were mentioned in the documents and several CDs before in court. The last legal requirement is the repetition and the regular acts such as executions, mass graves, and genocide, and using the chemical weapons against the civilians, of course. At the end, thank you for listening.